Hello there, good morning, and welcome back to the Football Tribe YouTube channel. My name is Robert Kesakos, and thank you for tuning into the channel. Thank you for taking the time to watch this from wherever it is that you're watching it from. Thank you for listening in. If you're just listening in, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking, and continue doing all that. So, welcome back from all the midweek action. In the UEFA Champions League, wins for Manchester City, Manchester United, Arsenal, and a loss for Newcastle. Welcome back from the Thursday action of the UEFA Europa League. Wins for Liverpool, wins for Brighton and Hove Albion, but a loss for West Ham United there against Olympiacos. And then the UEFA Conference League, where Aston Villa were 4-1 winners against AZ Alkmaar. So, welcome back from all that action, but we are back in the Premier League. There is plenty of action coming your way this weekend, and the Premier League's match 10 has already kicked off with a Friday night football where Tottenham beat up against Crystal Palace by 2-1. So plenty of action still coming your way throughout the weekend, but also the weekend will have more to offer just than the Premier League sensationals, including the El Clasico in Spain. The El Clasico will be on in Spain at 5:15 p.m. East African time as Barcelona host Real Madrid. Now remember, Barcelona are in third place with 24 points there, just a point behind Real Madrid, who are in second place at 25 points. So, big battle coming your way. Jude Bellingham has been making some comments relishing that battle, saying he had been watching all of Cristiano Ronaldo's celebrations over the years in that El Clasico and much more. So, it will be an entertaining piece of action. Both sides are just back from the Champions League, where Barcelona beat up against Shakhtar Donetsk by 2-1, while Real Madrid did beat up against Braga by 2-1. Goals from Jude Bellingham and Rodrigo there on the score sheet. So, big action in the Spanish La Liga, among other things there. So, do not miss out on that action. And in Italy, in the Italian Serie A, AC Milan, the champions of the 2021-2022 season, will be hosting the defending champions of the 2022-2023 campaign. That's Napoli. So another key battle in the Italian Serie A that will also be coming your way this weekend. While in Netherlands, we will have PSV Eindhoven host Ajax there. Now, again, both sides are fresh from action on the continent, where Ajax did lose by 2-0 against Brighton in the Europa League, while PSV Eindhoven did share the spoils with Lons in Group B of the UEFA Champions League. So, key action that you shouldn't miss out on this weekend. But, like I said, the Premier League's match day 10 has already kick-started with Monday night football players. That's the Tottenham, who beat up against Fulham on Monday night by 2-0, thanks to James Maddison and Son Heung-min there on the score sheet on Monday night, back at it, winning another game of football as they did beat up against Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace by 2-1. An own goal by Joel Ward broke the deadlock on the night following a barren first half, and then shortly after it was captain Son Heung-min who doubled that lead with a strike on his name there. So, beautiful football being played by Tottenham under the charges of Andy Postecoglou. That means Son Heung extends his Premier League tally. He's still second Premier League top scorer there with 8 goals to his name after that goal against Crystal Palace, while Erling Haaland still leads the pack with 9 goals. In third place is Liverpool's Mohamed Salah with 7 goals, while Alexander Isak, also of Newcastle, comes in there at 6, just as much as Gerard Bowen of West Ham. Plenty of players do have 5 goals in there. I think one of them being Bryan Mbeumo of Brentford, Douglas Luiz of Aston Villa, Ollie Watkins of Aston Villa, among others. So, beautiful stuff of football. It was a night that didn't offer much, especially in the first half, but in the second half, things started coming to life there. The game did come to more life in the second half with that own goal from Joel Ward, but then you had the introduction of Pierre-Emerick Højbjerg for Jovis Bissouma, while Brennan Johnson did replace Richarlison there, and Brennan Johnson did provide the assist for Son's goal. But Crystal Palace managed to pull one back through Jordan Ayew in a stoppage time, but it was only a consolation goal as Tottenham strengthened their grip on the summit of the Premier League, taking them to 26 points there from 10 games. So beautiful stuff. They are yet to lose a game of football in this season as well, just as much as Arsenal, who play on Saturday. So that was it from Friday night football. So here is the action that will be coming your way on Saturday and Sunday in the Premier League. Action will kick off at 2:30 p.m. East African time as Chelsea host Brentford. Now, Chelsea, in their last game, did share the spoils with Arsenal in that 2-2 draw. While Brentford were 3-0 winners against Burnley. So beautiful game of action to look out for in that afternoon, kick off. At 5 p.m. Arsenal will host Sheffield United. Sheffield United coming on the back of a 2-1 loss against Manchester United last weekend. They are yet to record a victory in this Premier League season. They're still searching for their first victory. Could they get it against Arsenal? Maybe or maybe not. So they do visit Arsenal. Bournemouth will play Burnley at 5 p.m. while Wolves at 7:30 p.m. will host a Newcastle. So those are the four matches on Saturday's calendar. And then action continues on Sunday in Super Sunday action where West Ham will host Everton, Aston Villa do host Luton Town, while Brighton and Hove Albion will welcome Fulham at the Amex Stadium. Liverpool at Anfield will welcome Nottingham Forest, while Manchester United will host Manchester City in the Manchester Derby to close us off on Super Sunday. But as teams play all these games, they will play them in mind that just in the midweek, they will be having engagements coming their way in the Carabao Cup there with key engagements for Manchester United as they host a Newcastle, while Arsenal will travel to West Ham. So, and then Liverpool will be away to Bournemouth. And Chelsea are also involved in that action in some of those fixtures of the Carabao Cup. So, beautiful action that will be coming your way. But we will be shedding more light on that game against as Arsenal hosts Sheffield United, and then subsequently the big, game of the weekend. That's the Manchester Derby. Now Arsenal come into this fixture in high spirits after a brilliant, victory against Sevilla at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan there in Spain in the midweek in the UEFA Champions League by 2-1. Gabriel Martinelli on the score sheet as well as Gabriel Jesus scoring in that game. But, not that it was an easy fixture, it was a tough one to go away to Spain and win. They had to grind it out, especially in the latter stages of the second half where they were so much under pressure. You had David Raya punch that one of the attempts on goal into the direction of his own net. Very lucky that it did go over the bar. So it was a bit of nervy moments in there. Thomas Partey did miss the tie through a muscle injury, while Gabriel Jesus was withdrawn after 81 minutes with fears of a muscle injury as well. What was initially thought to be a hamstring. He did have his scans, and Mikel Arteta says they will be missing him for the next few weeks. Remember, we only have 2 weekends of fixtures. That's between 5th and 6th, and the weekend after that before we head into the international break of November. So they will miss him for a couple of weeks because it was confirmed after the scans that he has have a muscle injury, just as much as Thomas Partey. who had only returned from another injury and did feature in Arsenal's 1-0 victory against Manchester City as a substitute, but he has since not played again for the Gunners there. So, among the other absentees will be Urian Timber, but we do not expect any other player to be absent for this one. So we do expect all the others to be available for selection in that game as Arsenal welcome Sheffield United. My predicted lineup for the Gunners there will include David Wire in goal, Ben White at the right back, William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes partnership in centre back, while Takahiro Tomiyasu was the man of the match in their 2-1 win against Sevilla, starting at left back ahead of Zinchenko. In midfield, it will be Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, Pablo Vieira to lead that midfield. In my prediction, I see Jorginho sitting this one out, especially knowing that it's a home game where they do not need a double pivot. And then up front, I expect Kai Havertz to start, then Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka on that front three. So Edin Ketia starts on the bench in the absence of Gabriel Jesus. That's my predicted lineup. Not take it to the bank, but that's what I do expect. Sheffield United on the other side are still struggling, but I do not think that it is against Arsenal at home that they will, find their first victory of the season. But here's one key note to take with you is that Arsenal are capable of conceding a goal or goals at the Emirates Stadium. They have a poor, defensive form at home as compared to their away trips. So I thought you may want to note that as you head into that fixture. So that's it there for the highlight on that Arsenal game. But like I did mention, Chelsea's game is also another hot fixture. And on Sunday, Liverpool on form Liverpool. Liverpool did just beat up against Toulouse in the UEFA Europa League by 5-1 there. Mohamed Salah, Darwin Núñez, Wataru Endo, Ryan Gravenberch all on target for the Reds there in that fixture. Brilliant game of football. Ryan Gravenberch, surprisingly incredible. Very wonderful player to watch in that game. So they do host Nottingham Forest and then Brighton versus Fulham. Fulham did lose their last Premier League game just as much as Brighton, who lost by 2-1 against Manchester City, but Brighton did find their spark, getting their first win on the continent as they beat Ajax by 2-1. João Pedro on a target there, as well as Ansu Fati. So, beautiful game of football you expect from these two sides, but I must mention that Brighton are struggling with injuries, especially in their back and front line. I do understand Solly March is out just as much as Danny Welbeck. Up front, Pavis Estupiñán may not be available for this one as well. So, among a few other players there. But I do think with the depth of their squad, they can, afford to handle a fixture against Fulham and perhaps win it, especially knowing that it will be at home at the Amex Stadium. Not that a draw is a distant result, but I do expect Roberto Di Zerbi to inspire his team to victory. So, key fixture there. And then comes the Manchester Derby on Super Sunday to close us off at 6:30 p.m. Now, when you ask me about the timing of the fixture, in terms of the schedule, it is the kickoff time, it is as concerning as you may come to think of it. So, unless anything changes. But both sides are back from UEFA Champions League action where Manchester United were 1-0 winners against Copenhagen. Harry Maguire, the unlikely candidate, being the match winner for the Red Devils there, just as much as the rogues of Andre Onana, who had to save a late penalty in the game to help Manchester United win that. And in the aftermath of that victory, Alejandro Garnacho did take to social media where he posted a picture of him and Andre Onana and put their emojis of a gorilla. Now, this has been taken as to be racist, albeit Andre Onana says he is not offended by the post. He does say it only signified strength and perseverance there, eh, as per his interpretation there. So, hard work and all that, but Alejandro Garnacho will be under investigation by the FA in regards to that post being regarded as racist. He could be fined because this has happened before. If you do remember, back in 2019, Bernardo Silva was suspended for one game and fined £50,000 for what appeared to be racist comments against his teammate Benjamin Mendy when he compared him to a brand of chocolate that is in Spain and Portugal. And then in 2021, you had Edson Cavani as a culprit, and this one was banned for using a certain phrase in Spanish that was regarded racist, and he was banned for 3 matches and fined £100,000 there. So these are some of the things that the FA have followed up on. So do not be surprised when you hear in coming weeks that Andrew Garnacho has been suspended for a match and even fined for that social media post. But like I said, so Manchester United do come in this fixture with a lot of high spirits, having won their last 3 games in all competitions, beating up against Brentford by 2 goals to 1, a double from Scott McTominay in that one, beating up against Sheffield United by 2 goals to 1 against Scott McTominay on target, as well as Diego Dalot to win that one. And then in the Champions League, as they recorded their first victory of the campaign, thanks to Harry Maguire there being on target. So, beautiful game of football. And if it may surprise you, but United have won 16 out of 17 games, both in the Premier League and the League Cup, where Harry Maguire has started. That's 16 out of the last 17. So, brilliant statistic there for you to carry with you heading into this Manchester derby. On the other side, again, Manchester City did beat up against Young Boys by 3 goals to 1 in the UEFA Champions League. So that's 2 wins for them on the spin after beating up against Brighton and Hove Albion in the weekend before that action, brought Erling Haaland and Julian Alvarez being on target in that game. They are also back from a 3-1 victory away from home against Young Boys, proud Erling Haaland scoring a brace in that one. And then Manuel Akanji, the other name on target, although Manuel Akanji will be absent for this fixture, having received a red card in their 2-1 victory against Brighton and Hove Albion. So he will miss this one. He won't be available just as much as Kevin De Bruyne, who is injured. So those are the only 2 players that will miss out on the Manchester derby for the side of Manchester City. So on form, Erling Haaland comes to the theatre of dreams. I don't know who will be charged with man marking Erling Haaland, but he is a man to watch in this fixture. If anything, would relish to score as many as he can against his neighbors. So you expect Pep Guardiola to have the advantage in this one, not based on just current form or recent trends, but I think the Manchester City as a team have played much better football so far this season as compared to their rivals. Meanwhile, Manchester United will be without some of their key players, including but not limited to the likes of Amadou Diallo, Luke Shaw, Taila Malacia, Jordan Sancho, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka is back in training. Maybe he will be on the bench for this one or could start, but it is much unlikely for such a fixture. Another key statistic for you to note ahead of this fixture is that Manchester City last won at Old Trafford in 2021, winning by 2 goals to nil in that fixture. So, key point for you to note. So, those are the fixtures that will be coming your way. But before I let you go, the other key news from the Premier League is that Newcastle's summer signing worth £55 million from AC Milan, that's Sandro Tonali, who will be banned for 10 months there for breaching betting rules. Now, he also will be fined about €20,000 there, and he will be great mess for Ed Howe's side, who have a lot of fixtures to ponder about. Just like I mentioned, they do visit Manchester United in the next round of the EFL Cup there, the Carabao Cup, but they are also in the Champions League. They just did lose against Tottenham by a goal to nil. So plenty of engagements coming their way. After their trip to Wolves this weekend, they will travel to Old Trafford for that Carabao Cup fixture, and then we'll be facing off with Arsenal there in the near future. So it will be a concern for Eddie Howe, but remember, he is not the first. Ivan Toney of Brentford is still serving his 6 months ban for breaching, betting rules, is expected to return to action in January and has been linked with a move away from Brentford, with a host of teams interested in his services, including the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, among others. But Sandro Tonali could feature in this weekend's game because Ed Howe did mention that they had yet to receive any confirmation of the decision from the respective authorities. I do understand that UEFA and FIFA had yet to, stamp on that ban. So we'll wait and see what comes out of that as we go through the weekend and in the proceedings that will be coming your way. So plenty of action will be coming your way. Plenty of things to ponder about. Like I said, Tottenham still lead the table. Manchester City in second, Arsenal third, Liverpool fourth, and then Aston Villa come in fifth, Newcastle sixth, Brighton seventh, and others do follow there. Now, like I said, the El Clasico is on this weekend, and in Spain, the table standings, you had Girona beat up against Rafael Benitez's Celta Vigo last night to stay top of that league pile with 28 points from the opening 11 fixtures. So that's it for the weekend. That's it from the Football Tribe YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you next time. Thank you. Stay blessed and have a blessed weekend.